Ladies and gentlemen, I just posted a video today talking about how the Senran Kagura new title presentation 2018 for August the 2nd will give us a lot of new information on all of the games that were announced last year. As far as we were concerned, we knew nothing going into this presentation other than the fact that these games exist, but now we're finally getting some information, not from the presentation, but rather some magazine stuff that is happening prior. So finally, we have some information on at least one of these games. Peach Ball Senran Kagura, the pinball game exclusive to the Nintendo Switch, finally has a release date. It is December the 13th in Japan. There's still zero confirmation that is A, coming out of the West, and B, there's any release date for the West. Right now, it seems like Xseed is focused more on bringing out Burst Renewal and bringing out Senran Kagura Reflections, which is just Shinobi Replay, but with a different name in the West. So those are the two games that we're still waiting for here in English. So the chances of us getting Peach Ball anytime soon in America seem pretty damn slim. So, let's look at this, brought to you by Gamatsu, obviously, and this time around, Nintendo Everything. This is actually the very first source that I found that, brought about all this information with Peach Ball. At the beginning, it was like just these three lines, but it seemed like they have updated the page with some more info on what's going on, but this is a little just ugly looking and honestly a little disorganized, so we're gonna go to good old Gamatsu that actually knows how to make their text look, presentable. No offense, Nintendo Everything. I'm sure you guys have to, jot this down and put it out very quickly, but I appreciate Sal Romano for actually, making this look appealing. But yeah, we have Peach Ball Senran Kagura, launches December 13th in Japan. So it is a pinball game, data for Japan. We still have the same poster, no brand new images or anything. I'm sure they will expand or at least give us a trailer at the new title presentation that is literally 24 hours away from now. So Peach Ball Senran Kagura will launch for Switch on December 13th in Japan for 4,980 yen, which goes for about $50 in dollars, in American dollars. So Weekly Famitsu, okay, so that's the magazine that has revealed all of this information about Peach Ball a day before the presentation. I don't know if this is like an official release or like a leak or something. When it comes to Famitsu, there are always leaks all the time. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was an actual leak before it was supposed to be formally announced. The pinball game will be developed by Tamsoft. I mean, that is not surprising. Tamsoft develops most of the Senran Kagura games. I do feel like, personally, my personal opinion, that Takaki-san would be better off with a different developer, but, work with what we got. There's also going to be a 9,960 yen, so double the price, essentially, a $100 limited edition that will include a whole bunch of stuff. It'll include a copy of Peach Ball, the game, a physical copy of Shinobi Replay, so that's already a different announcement on its own. There's going to be a physical release of Shinobi Replay. Presumably, it will only come in this limited edition of Peach Ball. There's no confirmation that the physical version will have its own separate release, or if this limited edition will ever come out in the West as well. Remember that Japanese special editions are always different from Western limited editions. You know how, PBS had like the giant like Yumi Big Boob mouse pad and soundtrack and keychain, like it had a whole bunch of other stuff. And when you bring it over to the West, it's just like, oh, the art book, soundtrack, and that's it. It's very bare bones in comparison to what you get in Japan, so I'm wondering if this will conflict with the release of Reflections. Maybe they'll do it the same, how there will also be a limited edition with Senran Kagura Reflections physical version in the West as well. I'm hoping that it is, because I think it would be cool to get a physical version of Replay. And of course, it is not just the base game. If you're thinking of, okay, a physical version of Replay, well, what the hell does that mean? Because the game on its own is just the Asuka story. It costs $10, and that's it. So what's going to be included in it? We're assuming that there's going to be more, and in fact, there will be more. A lot more than what I was expecting, personally. They're going to be including additional characters, which is all of the other 4 characters. They're not going to add any new ones. It'll be the 5 that we already have. Takaki already confirmed that Yomi, the latest character, is the last character that will be showing up, just to make a full team of 5. and 3 new fabulous reflections. So I'm assuming they're talking about those massage bits that they have at the end of every segment in the game, like the brush and the massager. That's totally not a vibrator, but they're gonna add 3 more of that, so this really changes the game up. Like, having the digital version, the physical version, will actually make a significant difference. A downloadable content code is also something that you'll get in there. So, downloadable content for what? I have no idea. It could just be a free code for, say, accessories or something like that, because Reflay does have an eShop page where you can download a bunch of DLC. Way too much for such a small game. But then again, DLC has always been a problem for Senran Kagura, this is not surprising, but it does make me wonder what this free download code is going to be for. Hopefully it's for a good, substantial pack of content and not just like a t-shirt or something like that, right? So now, let's move on to the next little paragraph here, which is the story. So yes, we did have confirmation that Peach Ball would not be like Reflay in the sense that it would be like a $10 small little experimental thing. This is like a legitimate, big Senran Kagura story. And so, I don't know if this is going to be kind of like PBS, where it's not like a mainline action game, but it still follows the story, or it leads to something. But based on what I've read already, it seems like this is so much more spin-off-ish than even PBS. So it seems like if you really want to talk about like a full-on spin-off, like Bon Appetit and Reflay, maybe this is one of them. It doesn't seem like it'll have anything really tying it to the main story or hinting at SK7 or anything like that. So the thing reads, the story sees Haruka develop a body transformation medicine called Kemonar. So like kimono friends or something, like animals, turns the girls into cute beasts, or at least have them have costumes of cute beasts. That looks like costumes, but whatever. It turns them into animals, sure. Shout outs to all the furries out there, they're probably turned on by that. In order to turn them back into humans, you have to play pinball, somehow. So, again, it's very similar to all of the ridiculous stories from Estival Versus and PBS, where, you know, you have to, like, play, you know, water gun fights in order to create the shield to protect against Shin and stuff like that. It's stupid, but, you know, you gotta play pinball to turn everybody back into humans, because Haruka did something horrible yet again. And so, the game is set at a day and night amusement park. So the game takes place entirely in an amusement park. That's cool. By clearing missions and building up points, I'm assuming points by playing pinball, the new sexy challenge system will activate. I don't know what a sexy challenge is, but I like it already. If a ball hits one of the girls, you can enjoy various suggestive reactions, such as water pouring in onto them. Oh boy, already getting some PBS vibes. And in the end, their clothes will come off naturally. There's also a super sexy challenge. Alright, so they're bumping it up. Even more challenges. Their chest and butts move closer to the pinball flipper, and then they become easier to hit. Okay, so when they get specific about that, I really want to see a trailer, some gameplay footage, some screenshots of what this actually is going to look like. Because I remember seeing like one picture of like one pinball table and it looked super duper simple. Like there was nothing on that table. But again, we have heard nothing. This is like a year later after seeing that screenshot. So maybe they're adding so much more stuff. I'm wondering how the game is going to run. Hopefully like they're able to allow you to flip the Switch vertically when you're playing it on tablet mode. That'd be really cool. And of course, the series locker room mode will also return, so just the dressing room, dress them up, touch them, and all that stuff. And of course, because it's on the Switch, HD Rumble supported skinship mode. So again, basically like Shinobi Reflay, just touching them, grabbing them everywhere, and just feeling the tactile feedback from the Joy-Cons. So maybe that's why they put out Shinobi Reflay, just to kind of experiment and see how it will work in this game. They did say that Shinobi Reflay was, from the very beginning, a very small experimental thing, despite the fact that they filled it to the throat with DLC. But still, it seems like maybe their experiment is kind of paying off in the form of this game. And because it's pinball, I really want to see them play around with HD Rumble, right? Seeing like the balls just kind of hit the walls and all of the crazy stuff, you know, the ball ricocheting off of the machine, and, you know, having that be felt with the HD Rumble through the Joy-Cons or the Pro Controller or what have you. And so there we go. Finally, we have a small little vision of what Senran Kagura Peach Ball is actually going to look like. Of course, This is just, bare bones synopsis kind of stuff. The story is that Haruka does a thing that turns everybody into animals. I imagine that she herself is also an animal, and then we'll have to turn them back, and with that, I assume there's going to be dialogue and chapters and side stories and all the typical stuff that we always see. Hopefully the writing and the comedy is on point, because it seemed like it's going to be another one of those. It seemed like another one. I mean, the game takes place at an amusement park, for Christ's sakes. I sincerely doubt there's going to be one of those serious ones at all, because even PBS had a few serious moments, some emotional moments, but this one seems to, like, just throw all of that away and just be balls out fun. Literally balls out, because it's pinball. Yeah, sure, I'm looking forward to it. Just from the price point, it seemed like it is going to be like a legit, quality, bigger Senran game for Switch. And I like that. Of course, I do appreciate that if you do get the limited edition, it is way pricier, it's like double the price. And like, what are you gonna get? Like, just Shinobi Replay with some brand new stuff added onto it? Like, I feel like they're omitting some stuff here. Like, double the price, I'm assuming there's going to be, the typical stuff, like the soundtrack and an art book, a little booklet, some other stuff to kind of sink our teeth in on top of Senran Kagura Replay, because this is not going to be worth it for anybody that has already bought Shinobi Replay digitally on the Switch. And I'm wondering, will all of this new content be included onto the digital version as well, or is this only exclusive to the physical edition so that people feel compelled to get the limited edition? And of course, are all of these things going to translate over to the West, because special editions are always different when moving them over from one side of the pond to the other. So yeah, that really does raise some questions as to, like, how is this going to look like in action? Are they going to add more stuff to this limited edition? Because I personally feel like it costs way too much just for the game, and then another game that already existed, but with updates, I sincerely hope that they reveal more info that just adds more on top of this. And yeah, the only thing that's left is just to watch a trailer, just watch the game in action, similar to how Takaki showed off Shinobi Replay last year, maybe this year on the new title presentation 2018. They will show off Peach Ball instead. It seems like the next big game, like the big thing that they really are promoting and pushing right now, is Peach Ball. And then below that is probably Season 2 of the anime, and like way down is Senran Kagura 7, because that's probably going to be the game that's going to take the longest to have done. I am fully assuming, I am mentally prepared for Takaki to go on stage and say, Senran Kagura 7 is not coming out in 2018, it'll be a 2019 release, because, we're still working on it. But right now, just to pass the time, we're going to play this pinball game. And of course, now that we're talking, DLC and added updates and new content and stuff for these other games, I'm really wondering how is the DLC going to look like for a game like this? Because you have games like Pinball FX 3 that, of course, have like a billion different tables that you can buy as DLC, some of them branded, some of them not. And, if you just download the game for free, you have like a table and that's it. And so with this game that's going to cost $50, essentially, like, how much content are we gonna get before they start charging us for crossover stuff and outfits and maybe brand new pinball tables, and how are the pinball tables going to look, and how are they gonna look like, just how are they gonna work? Because I'm assuming it's not gonna be like normal ass pinball. It's not gonna be like Pinball Arcade or Pinball FX 3 or anything like that. It's gonna be like its own sort of unique little thing. Takaki definitely has a knack for kind of taking genres and really simplifying them almost to a fault. The reason for why PBS is kind of abandoned online-wise is because it's not super complex. It's a super easy game to get into, super simple, way too simple actually, to the point that there really isn't a whole lot that you can do to experiment or to play around with or to make it competitive in any way. And so the same goes for the regular mainline Senran Kagura action games, where they're kind of like Dynasty Warriors-ish, but not really, and they've been using the same moves and the same attacks for a long time. They really haven't iterated on it a whole lot. And it seemed like with pinball, it's going to be the same thing. It's pinball, but like slightly less complicated. And so that kind of worries me a little bit, that the game might lose its luster after you've seen what it has to offer. But then again, I've always been a massive sucker for pinball. And yeah, if you have a well-designed table, it's going to last for a long time. So yeah, I have some pretty high hopes for this. I'm going to come into this pretty positive. And yeah, I mean, there's really no time for waiting. You know, you could say, let's just wait and see what happens. Let's wait for the game to come out. Nah, dude. Like, 24 hours from now, we're gonna see Takaki on stage, hopefully giving us more information on this. Hopefully this is not a leak. It doesn't say that you know, this Famitsu stuff is a leak. So with that, I'm hoping that, you know, Takaki really does go deep into this game and give us more stuff, because if it's just them sort of recycling all of this and just giving us this same information, just the release date and the limited edition and just the story and all that stuff, then I am gonna be a little bit upset. That's like their moment. It's like their E3 press conference moment of like, show what you got. So I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys join me. I am probably gonna live stream myself, just watching it and seeing how it all turns out. I'm pretty hyped at this point. I'm super duper hyped. So if you guys are hyped along with me, I hate to sound like one of those guys, like, give me a like for but like, come on, dude, it's only once a year. So you know, if you guys are very hyped about this, of course you can give it a like, you can comment down below. On the last Senran Kagura video that I posted, everybody got really hyped, everybody was very interested in this, and I got like the most amount of comments at the fastest amount of time since like ever. So it's obvious that people are into Senran Kagura right now. At least people on this channel really do like it. And so yeah, so like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I will see you guys very, very soon for the new title presentation coming up. And yeah, we'll regroup and talk again afterwards. And of course, if there's any new information that comes up in between any of that, then I'll try my best to just make a video real quick. But then again, I don't know if it'll be worth it since the presentation is so close, but I'll see what I can do. All right, thank you. See ya.